In my last investigation, I had a look at what the best colour is for the walls of our sustainable house. So now we need to match those with windows. Which type of glass will be best for the windows on our sustainable house? Windows, even when they're closed, can be a place where heat escapes your home, or where heat gets into your home on a hot day. That's why it's important to think about windows that we choose when engineering a sustainable house. Let's just make sure we've got everything we need. 1 cube, this is our house. 3 window glass samples. I've got clear, low E and tinted, a temperature sensor panel, a contact temperature sensor, cables, data logger, power supply, lamp to act as the sun, a template for positioning the lamp, and an investigation results table. And I've got my tablet here to record all those results. So it looks like we've got everything we need. Now let's get building. First, I'm pressing the clear glass sample into one side of the cube so there are no gaps. On all other sides of my cube house, I'm placing the white insulation panels. I'm using cables to connect the temperature sensor panel to the contact temperature sensor and those to the data logger. I make sure my contact temperature sensor is placed away from the experiment to take the temperature of the room, and I'm putting the plate with my temperature sensor panel into the opposite side of the cube to my glass panel. I'll connect the lamp to the 0 volt and 12 volt terminals on the power supply and use the wall switch to turn the lamp on and off. I'm using the template for placing the lamp exactly 11 centimeters from the window. Okay, now I'm all set up, so the next thing to do is to turn on the sun or my lamp and then track the temperature change every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. Alright, that is my first type of window done. Now I've got 2 more types of glass to test out, and while I do that, let's hand over to Corey for some deadly science.
So you won't find windows in the bush because not all houses have that. Try this hollow, for example. This place would have been a sacred place for the Camaragal people, and it would have been a home. And hollows make great homes for lots of animals. Sometimes gum trees lose a branch just to save water when it's dry. This one, like I'm sitting on here, was once upon a time a parrot nest. There's a huge hollow in here and it's all been dug out real nicely for those baby parrots. This is also why it's important to have lots of new trees growing. So when the old hollow trees die, there'll be new ones to replace them, to make sure everyone has a home for the future. Now that's some deadly sustainable housing. Over to you, Lee.
Okay, it's results time. Let me show you what I found out. When our house had the tinted glass window, it was cooler than with the other types of glass. When our house had plain glass, it heated up faster. And when our house had low E glass, it heated up a little more than the houses with the other types of glass, but it cooled down faster. Heat and light energy travel from the lamp to the window by a process called radiation. Heat energy travels through the air as infrared radiation. And when that radiation hits the window, it's either reflected away by the window, absorbed by the window, or transmitted through the window. Things you might want to think about when you're choosing a window for a home you want to make sustainable is things like what angle is the sun going to be hitting that window and that side of the house, and how long will the sun be coming into that side of the house at different times of year. There's lots to consider, and maybe you even found some different results to mine. If so, that's totally fine. You might have some different ambient temperatures, for example. Keep experimenting, and of course, questions lead to answers that might just give you more questions. Right now, I've picked a color for my house, I've picked the type of windows I'd like, but I think the next thing I want to look at is what's the best kind of insulation?